Welcome to Rockin' the Ages, set in the heart of the beautiful Okanagan in British Columbia with your host, Cheryl Soleway. Life is like a game of hockey. There are fast breaks, sudden shifts, hard hits, and moments of pure exhilaration. To play well, we need more than strength. We need resilience, confidence, and a plan that's always changing for every period of the game. Rocking life at any age takes more than just push-ups, cardio, or muscle strength. It's about sharpening the mind, fueling the body, and learning how to adapt and thrive through every period. There are 7 essential keys that unlock a life of energy, joy, and purpose. Through inspiring stories, practical wisdom, and a touch of grit, Rocking the Ages is here to remind you that the later chapters of life aren't a time to slow down. They're a time to play bigger, stronger, and smarter. So lace up, lean in, and get ready to discover how to truly rock the ages. In this second episode of Rocking the Ages with internationally recognized yoga and Pilates educator Rhona Parsons, we continue to share her journey of transformation, the creation of her global wellness programs, and her wisdom of living well in body, mind, and spirit at any age. Hey, let's dive back in. I got this gifted to me. Rhona, this is such a beautiful book. You've
Thank you.
just really presented it beautifully. So it's called 90 Days of Inspired Living. So give us a quick little synopsis because it's rooted and rising.
Rooted and Rising. Well, I mean, the reason I started this was because it was my journey and it was about inspiring my life and living my life to the fullest of what I want in my life.
Because was there a moment? Like, why now? What happened that you had this moment at, you're 64?
Mhm.
Was this just recently then?
Yes, it was
Something triggered it then.
just this year.
Okay.
I have a newsletter, and so I started sending out these inspirations 3 days a week to my clients, just inspiring them to manifest because I truly believe that we can manifest anything that we want in our life. We just have to desire it. We have to believe that it's here already,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to set our vibration for it to be attracted to us.
Okay.
So I started doing these inspirations for me and for other people. I would go through, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a note taker. And if I take any course, I'm writing notes and writing notes and writing notes. So I went through this file this big, and any quote that I had, I went on it and I just sent them out because I've got this information for something. And so one morning I woke up about 2 months ago with the message in my head from, I believe, my higher self saying, you need to put all your inspirations together in a book. So that was Monday morning. And by Wednesday evening, I had the book on Amazon waiting to be published.
That is crazy good.
So again, it's
That is
one of
crazy
those
good.
things where you're just typing, and
Yep.
sometimes not knowing what I'm doing or realizing what I'm typing. And all of a sudden, I have this book. I usually would get a person to help me create my covers. Well, this cover, it was just all given to me. This is what you do, and this is what you do. And so I just did it. So
And
now
it
I know how to do it.
matches our
It matches our beautiful
theme just
our beautiful
perfectly.
theme.
I love lavender. Everything about lavender is
It's
just
beautiful.
relaxing and beautiful. Okay, well, tell me now the highlights of the 90 days. What will I look forward to learning from this book?
Well, you will be, I mean, basically, let's just open this one. So this is
Okay.
Unlocking Courage. Fear is just a detour. Fear shows up as resistance, but really just a signal you're getting close to something important. Courage doesn't erase fear, it redefines your relationship with it. Go around it, go through it, but don't let it stop you. You are more powerful than your fear. Fear is a signpost, courage is the movement. So that's your message. And
Yeah.
then there's an inner reflection on the other side. Where are you being invited to choose courage today, even if fear is present? So it allows you to really think about what's going on in your life. And normally, if we think too much, then our ego is getting in there. So
Uh-huh.
you want to close your eyes, you want to read that, you want to close your eyes, and the first thing that pops up is what you want to write. And then at the bottom for the day is an affirmation. I choose courage even in the presence of fear.
So good. So good. Can you describe to people what our definition of ego is? Like, we have such a good understanding
Mhm.
of what the ego is in the health and wellness and fitness industry, whereas I think the general population have as ego as being almost a negative thing.
Mhm.
What's your description of ego?
So the ego is your conscious mind. The ego is the mind that helps you throughout the day. It's the one that's present and going through it. And then we have the subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind knows absolutely everything you've done. So, for example, let's just say you lose your keys and you're going out somewhere. And this actually happened to me. I was going to Toastmasters and I lost my keys and I couldn't find them anywhere. They weren't where I normally put them. I had my coat on. I was ready to go out the door. And 15 minutes of searching, I thought, oh, I can't go. I'm going to be late. So I took off my coat. I walked to the bathroom and I said to my mind, just show me where those keys are. So I went to the bathroom. I came out. And I looked behind my television and there they were sitting there. So our subconscious mind can think of 4 million things at a time. It knows exactly what we're doing. It's our habits. It's the habits that have been formed over the years. But the beautiful thing about the subconscious mind, it doesn't know the difference between true and false. So let's say I am so happy and grateful now that I am living the best life. I have this and I have this and I have this and I have this. The subconscious mind actually believes that. It doesn't know the difference.
Okay.
And so the more you feed your subconscious mind, the more all these things are going to be attracted to you. There was a woman that I followed her Body Awake program, Dr. Sue Morter.
Say it again, Sue?
Sue Morter.
Morter?
Yes, Morter. And she says that when we come down to earth, because celestial beings, we come down to earth, we splat. So our brain goes one way, our heart goes the other way. And this is where ego is formed, because now ego thinks it's all by itself and it needs to create its own life. Until we connect our heart and our ego together, they will always be separate. And I truly believe that happens in the third period.
Oh, I wish it would happen earlier, but I agree with what you're saying, Rhona.
Yes,
it
I do too.
It scares me, though, looking at this younger generation. And again, I feel that their egos, being their minds, are just so noisy. They have so much chatter going on in their brains or in their egos, talk, noise, that they can't feel. And so again, back to your concept of balance, in order to balance between the mind, the body,
and
spirit, the heart, it's letting that heart feel, but quieting that mind is so challenging. And I agree, it seems like in our third period, it becomes a little easier. Some of that noise and that chatter is easier, but how do we help those?
But this is fear. This is where our fear sits. This is where our fear is. And when we can come out of fear, when we can start to feel it in our heart and in our gut too. You know, your gut and your mind, they work very well together. If something doesn't feel right in your gut, it's not. And you've got to listen to that, because sometimes our heart will lead us astray. But I believe, I can tell you that my mind is my friend. I mean, we get along very, very well.
Oh, I like that.
And we have great conversations.
Yeah, do you?
Some people will think I'm just talking to myself, but I'm actually talking to my mind.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I love how you smile as you're saying that. You can see sort of the joy in it.
When we're born true love. We are pure joy. Every one of us, pure joy. And it's in the first 7 years of our life that our personality is created. Our belief system is created from our tribe being our parents, our siblings,
there you go,
our family.
There you go. Yeah.
So we take those
experiences and
on with our life. And so that's how our life is established. And so that's what we live by for a very, very long time, until this is introduced to us. I truly believe that our children nowadays, and I mean, even my grandchildren, are amazing people. But I teach them what I learn.
Do you? Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And they are some of the most compassionate human beings I've ever met. So I think this new generation, even though that they're stuck in their phones and they're stuck in all these things, they've come down to bring peace and love and compassion to the earth. And I think we're at that point where we're at a pivotal point. And I always quote Jimi Hendrix. I believe it was Jimi Hendrix, who said, you know, when the power of love overtakes the love of power, there will be peace in this earth. And it may not be peace in the entire earth, but I can't help what's going on all over the world. All I can do is change my corner of the world. And so that's what I do. I spread kindness, joy, whenever I can.
Rhona, I want to get on to a couple of different topics now. And one of the things is I'm listening to your wisdom and how much you've accomplished, how much you do. Tell me a bit about, how do you manage your time on a personal level?
I have a day timer that I write in pencil every week.
Huh.
I don't use my phone because I lose my phone more often than not. And my day timer is quite large, so I have that with me all the time. I believe that routine is very important.
Yeah.
So every morning when I wake up, I immediately drink 2 cups of water. My body has fasted all night long and it needs to wake up. So I do that with
Okay.
my water. I then put my coffee on, have my 1 cup of coffee, and I sit in front of my altar. I have a nice little altar at home, and I listen to this music that I've listened to probably for the last 15 years. And it just sets my day. It's beautiful meditation music. I then I read from a book, and lately I've been studying The Law of Awareness by Neville Goddard, or The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. So I read a little bit, and I make sure that I have my clients starting at a certain time. So I mean, I'm on my computer a lot. So basically, my week is made up of an online class starting at 8 a.m. in the morning. I then have a couple of hours to myself for my computer and housework. And then I go to the gym and I teach. And some nights I teach too. So some of my days can be 12 hours.
12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have signs of aging that you feel that you'd like to share?
Signs of aging. I mean, exactly what is that? You are as young as you feel, and age is just a number as far as I'm concerned.
Good.
The one thing that the reason I can do what I do is because I love what I do.
Yeah.
I am very passionate about my work, and it actually isn't work. So I feel that I'm semi-retired. I work when I want to, and that can be for 6 weeks straight, and sometimes I'll do Saturdays and Sundays as well.
Right, because it's not work.
It's not work. But when I
Right.
want a break, I take a break, and if I feel burnout coming on, which I do, I will take a break. I'll take
Fantastic.
3 or 4 days off because I can. And because I've got everything penciled in my book, I can pencil time off. Is anything changing in my life? I do wear contacts.
Do you?
I
Is
do
that
wear
new?
contacts. No, I've been wearing contacts for quite a few years now. I have different sizes in each eye, and they're daily. I can't do monthly. So I have contacts. There are certain foods that I cannot eat.
And is that new? Something new for you?
This is new. This is actually probably only been in the last year.
Interesting, because I was just having a discussion with Dr. Christine Hatfield. She was one of my guests a couple episodes ago, and discussing how as our hormones keep changing, our gut will also react. The microbiome that's in our gut is very influenced through the hormones, especially estrogen. So this is common. So what are you noticing?
I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
So I was experiencing this sudden pain in my stomach that would last 3 to 4 days, that I would be in bed, that I would just be totally glazed over, and then the pain would go away. And then it would reoccur and reoccur. And so I started taking probiotics. And one day my daughter called me and she said, "Mom, I had a meeting with a psychic yesterday." I said, "Oh yeah," because I think that's really cool. And she said, "Great Grandma Mary came through." And I said, "Great Grandma Mary?" And she said, "Remember Gigi?" And Gigi was her dad's grandma. So I knew Gigi from the age of 16 to 28. And she said, "Yeah." She said, "The psychic said, I have your great grandma Mary standing beside me,
Boy.
and she's holding the right side of her pelvis with her hand, and she's really worried about your mom." Now, this was my stand. I wouldn't even know that I had my hand on my pelvis holding it because that's where the pain would be. She said, "Great Grandma Mary says immediately your mom needs to stop eating anything high in phytic acid. She needs to stop putting coconut oil in her coffee every morning, and she needs to start taking probiotics," which she's probably already started to do.
Oh my
Now,
goodness. Just
I'm a
little
believer.
specific, hey?
I'm a believer of the spirit world.
I am too.
I mean, how
I am
can I
too.
not
We could
believe?
have a whole nother episode.
How can I
and
not believe on Great Grandma Mary?
Absolutely.
And I had no idea what phytic acid was.
What is phytic acid?
Phytic acid is the shell or the covering on some legumes and beans. It's to do with the phosphorus that the plant creates to grow,
Hmm.
and it's a covering. And what it does, it stops the absorption of minerals into your bloodstream, into your body. So magnesium, which I was taking, like I have my vitamins, but it was stopping all of that. And so when I would eat lentils, specifically
And do you think you
lentils.
were eating a lot of
I loved
lentils?
lentils.
Oh, you do?
I loved them.
Okay.
I loved them. I don't eat them anymore.
Is that right?
I do not because I actually so I stopped eating it. I really researched all this. I stopped the coconut oil and then I ran out of my probiotics. So it had been 3 months. I'd been taking them every day. So I hadn't taken them for about a month. And I went to my sister's for dinner and she is plant-based diet and she makes beautiful food and she made this lentil Wellington. It was absolutely beautiful. Tasted amazing. Well, the next morning, the pain started. And by the time I got home, so I had a doctor's appointment in regard to this pain. So whether it was his prodding, I got home, I was in bed at 4. I got up at 7 to have some water. I went back to bed for 3 days. The pain was so bad.
That is crazy good. Crazy good. I'm not sure we can all have a psychic in our back pocket, but like you, I really believe. But I also really believe, again, going back to my 7 keys, that your gut health is it's just telling you so much
Oh, it's
about
amazing.
your body. And people with arthritic symptoms or inflammation, they keep blaming the joints that's sore. My hands are sore, my elbows are sore, and it's arthritis. You know what? It's usually your gut. And it's tricky to figure out what is irritating your gut. You do have to be really aware and really diligent about what we put into it. But boy, oh boy, people, if you're not paying attention to your gut, please, it's a really good place to start and to learn.
And one of my Bibles is Your Body Speaks Your Mind, How Your Emotions Affect Your Health by Debbie Shapiro. So
Say it again by Debbie Shapiro.
your body speaks your mind,
Your body speaks your mind.
how your emotions affect your health. And I don't know who said it, but when your body has disease, your mind is not at ease.
When your body has
Disease,
disease,
your mind is not
your
at
mind
ease.
is not at ease. Now, I bet you. So you must talk about all these things on your retreats.
I do.
We haven't even been there yet, Rhona. Like you are also organizing retreats kind of around the world, even. It's not just sort of in your own backyard, but share that with us. Share what you're doing as far as these wonderful retreats.
I just have a message to share to people. I always have said, even as a personal trainer, this is not my knowledge to keep. We are here to help others who will help others, who will help others. And for my retreats, it's all about mind body wellness,
Okay.
fitness, health, and wellness, and bringing balance to body, mind, and spirit. That's what it's about.
What are the titles of your retreats?
The Mind Body Reboot Camp.
The Mind Body Reboot Camp.
Yes.
Now, is that local?
My next one is in October in Soyuz
Okay.
at the Walnut Beach Resort.
Oh, wow.
So it's
wow.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we do fitness. So we do a strength training class because you got to keep your body healthy. We do yoga, we do meditation for the mind, but we also do some mindset work. So I help people figure out what they want in their lifetime and give them the tools and the know-how how to get it.
And are you together then for the full 3 days?
We
What
are.
sort of time apart look like? Time together? Is there a nutrition component? Like we sort of got to this by talking a little bit about diet and gut health.
I truly believe that balance is key
Mhm.
and food is one of life's pleasures. And so in my book, Body Fit Beyond the Scale, I do talk about nutrition.
Do you?
But again, it's about moderation, it's about balance. So I love a good old gin and tonic and I love a glass of wine,
Yeah.
but I also know that I need to go out and walk for 30 minutes
Okay.
before or after I have that because it's all about balance in the body. And so I teach that as well. I mean, food is one of life's pleasures.
Yep.
It is. And if
Absolutely.
it wasn't, we wouldn't have access to it.
Right. Have you, from the clients and the people you've worked with, have you noticed common foods that are irritants or that are triggers for people that you would advise? They're
No.
cautious. Nothing
No.
that stands out.
I'm not a dietitian.
Okay.
I'm not a nutritionist,
Yeah.
but as a personal trainer, I can teach the Canada Health Food Guide.
Yes.
So usually when I work with people, I say to them, let's look at what you're eating for 3 days. I want you to write down everything you eat and everything
Exactly.
you drink for 3 days.
Good
We're going to look
advice.
at it because if you're coming to me for muscle strength, and research is showing that women our age, we need to have high weight and low repetitions. So if we're building muscle mass, we need to be eating protein with every meal. So let's look at what you're eating for 3 days. I will teach you the basics, basic metabolic rate. I will teach you how to calculate how many calories you should be eating. And there are so many programs and diets out there that say you don't need to eat or count calories. At the end of the day, you need to know what you're putting in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You need
Mm-hmm.
to.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, you do need to know how many calories you're eating. Because if you look at some of these programs that are out there, I'm sure even though it's a point system,
Mm-hmm.
where did they find the points from?
Mm-hmm.
Must have been counting calories at some point.
Right.
So I truly believe that. And that's how I help people understand what they're putting in their mouths.
I like it. Kind of keeps it simple, but
It's very simple.
but still
Important.
detailed in the same breath. If you can say those two words can go together.
If you have these goals, you need to know how you can get to those goals.
Mm-hmm. So then we haven't even discussed your book, Beyond the Scale.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me in a nutshell what your premises are?
Body Fit Beyond the Scale.
Yes.
Again, it's about body, mind, and spirit.
Okay.
So in here, it's a 6-week transformation program.
Okay.
So I don't know about you, but in the summertime, living in the Okanagan,
Mm-hmm.
we can eat some really great food and we
Yeah.
can drink some really nice wine.
Yeah. I find the same thing happens to me in Mexico.
And in Mexico too. It's like every day's a party.
Right.
Because at this age it is.
It is.
But at some point we say, oh, I need to get back on track.
Right.
That's what this is
So
about.
that's like a reset.
This is a reset.
Right on.
And it actually has a 2-week reset training
And
guide
can you
in
give it away? What are the quick keys to resetting? What do you have to do to reset?
It's about exercising 3 days a week. It's about noticing what you're putting in your mouth and eating better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about mindset.
Rhona, I'd like to ask you a question that has to do with, we've been so fortunate to ride this fitness wave together. I described that for me, I basically started it on the 80s and got right on that wave just as it was getting started, and Reebok shoes weren't even invented yet. And all the wonderful little trends from low impact to high impact aerobics to step to hip hop, etc. I now feel that I want to take what I've learned and share it going forward, also share it going backwards with those coming up behind us. What do you think have been the highlights for you riding this fitness wave and on this fitness journey? What do you think you've learned?
Well, movement is key.
Movement is key.
Movement is key. I actually took my aerobic instructor test on the step.
Did you?
I did. And I loved the step.
I love the step too.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the fitness industry is very cyclic in that things are coming back again.
Isn't that great?
I was at a fitness conference a few years ago and they were teaching low impact aerobics.
Right on.
I can teach that.
You sure can. Knowing you, yes. You saw when I can do that.
I can do that. I think it's really important that we have teachers because I don't, and the way it's going now, it's all about HIIT programs. And I do teach HIIT.
Yeah.
I teach a functional HIIT class because at our age.
So describe what HIIT means.
HIIT is high intensity interval training. So taking the heart rate high and then bringing it down.
Right.
The beautiful thing about the HIIT class, and that is actually what Body Fit is based on too, the Body Fit Beyond the Scale program, is there's an EPOC effect. An EPOC is excess post-oxygen consumption. So when you're on this 30 minutes and you're bringing your heart rate up and down and up and down and up and down and you're getting this thing, when you're finished your class, your body is still burning energy to bring you back to rest.
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about HIIT.
Yes.
So it's about doing less for more.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets? Do you think we made very many mistakes following this journey of fitness that we've been on?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Not a whole lot.
No, not at all.
In
It's
hindsight,
been an amazing
I'll
journey.
tell you a little story because you got to share your spiritual guide story. Well, I have one myself, and Jillian, shout out to Jillian. She's been amazing in my life. But I'm going to say it was about a decade ago, maybe even a little more. And I was actually in a Soyuz, believe it or not, seeing her in a Soyuz. So whatever it is about the attraction of being in a Soyuz. But she said to me, you're going to start to slow down and you're going to find that your classes are not as hard and you're going to benefit more. And I went, wait, what? That whole ego side of me, that other ego that is noisy, that was like, my classes are the hardest. People come out saying, oh, you almost killed me. And for some reason, I thought that was a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I came away from that meeting with her and she said, you're going to get softer and you're not going to be as intense and everybody's going to get more from it. And she was right.
Mm-hmm.
I have found myself balancing to the way that I teach and the way that I approach fitness now.
Mhm.
And boy, that was a pretty vivid lesson and a pretty good aha moment
Yeah, it's very
that I
cool.
came from somebody who was not involved in the fitness industry at all.
Yeah.
Have you had any other aha moments like that?
We have to teach functional movement. As Joseph Plotty said, a moving body never stiffens. And this is about refining. This is not about crazy.
Yes.
This is about being able to get on the floor with my grandchildren and play with them and get up. I don't want to be grandma sitting in a chair reading a book.
You sure don't.
I have a class that I teach 5 days a week in the mornings, and my clients are between 60 and my oldest client, she's 88. And
Is this
yesterday,
online or is this
this is
really?
online. And yesterday I actually had coffee with her and she said, I just want to thank you.
What's it called, Rhona?
Well, I actually started it COVID,
Okay.
and it's Body Works with Rhona.
Body Works with Rhona.
Yes. And that's exactly what it is. It's strength training 3 days a week. We do Pilates one day and we do yoga another day.
Wow.
But she said, I want to thank you, because she lives in a big house. And she said, I can still walk up and down the stairs. I can
Right.
still do all these things. And
Right.
I'm going to be 88 in October. And that's what it's about. It's about being able to move. You have to keep moving if you want to live.
And what's the simplest
fulfilled
form? Like,
life.
how do you get people started? People who are really, really struggling. How do you get them started? Because I also know you wrote one more book in that pile. Okay.
Oh, it's called Balance Yoga.
Let's talk about balance yoga just a little bit.
Chair yoga for
Because
people with movement disorders.
for people with movement disorders, and you do also highlight Parkinson's.
I do highlight, I had the pleasure and the honor to work with clients that had Parkinson's disease for 14 years.
I have a good friend, and I'm going to recommend your book to her. So tell me, what are the highlights?
Well, this is chair yoga. So
Okay.
it's about just getting the body to move the way it is, getting the ankles moving.
Ankles moving. I
yeah,
think
which
we've
is-
talked about
Which
that.
is huge, getting the ball rolling to get the nerves in our feet woken up.
Mhm.
So I would say, the one thing that you need to do is walk.
Yep.
And if you think back to when you learned to walk, you sat a lot of times and you got up and then you sat down. And I love this little story of my grandson, who is an amazing hockey player. But when Noxie started hockey, we had the conversation one night, and I said, how's hockey, Nox? And he said, Nana, I keep falling down. I keep falling and it hurts. And I said to him, do you remember when you first learned to walk? And he said, no. And I keep every video that my children send me. So I said, I'm going to send you the video. And so I did. And he watched himself walk and sit and walk and sit.
Right on.
And I said, and look at you now, Knox. And I'll tell you, that little man, he is an incredible hockey player and he's going to go far.
Look at your words of wisdom.
But this is the thing, you start at chair yoga and then you get up. And I would teach them how to get up. So if you have a hard time getting off the chair, what you need to do is you need to wiggle your bum to the front of the chair. You need to bring your feet in so that your heels are slightly behind your knees. You need to shift your weight over top of your knees and you can stand. Much easier. And then go for a walk. Now set your clock or your timer for 6 minutes. I want you to go walking for 3 minutes, turn around and walk home. That's a total of 6 minutes.
Perfect.
The next day, 7 minutes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Can you show me the cover to that book one more time, Rhona?
Balance Yoga.
Okay, awesome. And I want to see the cover of the book that's called, no, not that one. The one on the bottom. Body Fit.
Body Fit Beyond
Because you know what I see there that I like? Can you tell what I like in that picture? How about the fit ball?
The fit ball. The fit ball is the best.
I have loved the fit ball, I swear, since time began and the dinosaurs roamed. And I remember kind of long before it got introduced into the fitness industry, we were already using it in physiotherapy. So that was such a natural tool for me to really sink my teeth into. When you talk about things being cyclical, guess what? I am back on top of my fit ball now almost every single day. And, with the tool in the toolbox to start getting people to open back up and lengthen what is tight. Rhona, I really can't thank you enough. It was a great chance to just get together and see you again, which that doesn't happen often enough, that's for sure. But your wisdom and where you are at this point in your life is so inspiring. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you. And on behalf of everybody that's watching, thank you.
Thank you. And I want to say that my fitness profession started with you as a physiotherapist teaching your continuing education credit courses.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
You've
How
been in
long
my
ago
life
was
for
that?
a very long time. I started, 1996.
Oh, my goodness. That was probably in Vancouver, at a workshop probably in Vancouver.
In Vancouver, and I actually think you did one in Vernon as well, and maybe Prince George.
Huh.
But I've followed Cheryl for a long time, and then we became colleagues at Predator Ridge, and so it's just
And look at us now.
cyclical.
Us grannies. We're grannies together now,
That's
rocking
right.
it out.
It's perfect.
Thanks, Rhona. Let's go work out.
Okay.